This will be the startup procedure for Highpoint well. Today is August 23rd, I believe, 2020. So this is the new generator and the new cabinet. And for those who haven't seen it yet, it's pretty easy. It's just much like the old one. But anyway, you got to have the correct key to open the cabinet. The cabinet key would be the exact same key that was on the old one. So if you have the old cabinet key, the old Cummins, the blue cabinet, it works. So that's a good thing. So I have several keys, the new key and the old key. So I'm going to go ahead and open it up. And there's your, I forgot what you call that thing, but it's your menu box there. It's all digitalized and it's automatic, so you don't have to manually. You can do it manually, but I don't even know how. They've got it run so it scrolls through on its own automatically to tell you what to do. So the second thing, the second cabinet door to the right of the first one, they put the key in different. They put the lock in the opposite. So if your key doesn't work, just turn it to the opposite way that you would do the previous other 3 doors, and it will work. It's just opposite. And there's the motor. There's your dipstick for your oil. And if you add oil, there's where you add the oil, right there. That black knob to the left of the dipstick. These two are your fuel filters. And up here is your radiator. This does not have an overflow, so if you have to add antifreeze, you've got to do it right to the radiator itself. It's a bit more challenging, but you've got to stick your head, take your hat off, stick your head in there. Let's see if I can get her done. And check it. I'm sliding in here. And you can kind of stand stooped without your hat. And you just turn it counterclockwise and push down. Push down counterclockwise. That releases that lip. And what I've been doing is just sticking my finger in there. I've got fluid. And the most important thing you do when you replace this cap on is push down and turn clockwise until it locks. Clockwise until it locks. And then I always pull up to make sure I've got to cinch down, because I'd hate for that water to be leaking out while this thing's running all night. So that's good. That's fluid number 1. Go back to my dipstick. See, it doesn't show right to the full mark, and that's okay. It's about 3/4 way to the full mark, and that'll work. That's what those guys said. I mean, you don't want to overfill it, Kelly said. So as long as it's between add and full, you're good. It's a good color to that oil, so we're good there. Just replace that dipstick and push it all the way down. Make sure oil won't come back out of that. I always check my oil knob there, make sure it's tight. Okay, so the fluids check out, and the rest of it's pretty basic and simple. I go around, and this has a battery disconnect instead of actually manually pulling it off the post like we do on a couple of wells, like on garlic. I'll go back in here, open this one. There's your battery, and there's your battery disconnect. Straight up like that. When it's straight up and down at 12 o'clock and 6 o'clock, that is in the off position. So in order to turn it on, I turn it clockwise to the right till it clicks. It'll only go that far. So that is on. So now we're able to start it. I'll go back around, look at my display box and to make sure it's on. And it is. See, the readouts are there. And the next thing I do is just push run. The green button, the farthest one to the right, is run. And I push it and release. I don't hold it. I just push it and release. It takes about 4 or 5 seconds, and it'll... kicked up to the 1800 RPMs that it needs to be. So that's where it should be running. I let it warm up for approximately 7 or 8 minutes, or until it gets to be about 180 degrees, which you may take a bit. So you might just go back and sit down and do something else. Wait till it gets up there. When it gets to 180 degrees, that right there I'm looking at right there is my pump itself. So I'll go back to that, but I don't want to turn it on now because I don't want to wait. But when it gets to 180 degrees, here's what I do. I'm not going to do it because I don't want to wait around. I got things to do, but I'll take this and turn it clockwise straight up. Same thing to the 12 o'clock and 6 o'clock position, straight up. That's step one of turning on the pump. You have to turn that straight up because right now when it's in the horizontal position is in the off position. So to put it in the on position, I turn this, pull this down. This knob here will be down at 6 o'clock. This part right here will be at 12 o'clock. As soon as I turn that to 6 and 12, I just push that button. And that engages the pump. I just shut it off. So in order to shut it off, say you come back the next day and your knob is in the 12 and 6 position, you just flip it back here counterclockwise until it's horizontal with the ground, and that is the off position. You don't have to do anything with this button over here to shut it off. So to turn on the pump it's 2 steps. You turn this on and you push the button. To turn it off, you only turn this to the horizontal position where it is now. It's in the off position. You don't do anything with the button. Of course, I just turned it off, the engine, the generator, but as soon as you always shut your pump off first. Always shut your pump off first before you turn your generator off. And then you just hit the red, says off, just push it and release, and it'll idle down for about, I think it has a 10-second or 7-second idle down, cool down they call it, and it shuts off. And the last thing you would want to do is lock up your cabinets and disconnect your battery for lightning. That's the main thing you disconnect that battery for. If there's a lightning pop, it won't fry your wires and your generator. So I'm just going to flip it back here, straight up and down, 12 and 6. 12 and 6 o'clock that is, right? You can see that. That is in the off position. The battery is disconnected. And if you really want to make sure, you just go around and look at your display box, and it should be blank. Let's go look at it. It's off because the electricity's been disconnected. Okay, then you just shut your cabinets, lock them down, and get out.